Sometimes things happen for a reason, and that's certainly what happened on this trip. When plan A failed and plan B, I was left with plan C, and I'm kinda glad that plan C did work. Join me here as I head into some of the most remote mountains in Scotland and experience some epic conditions, just like these ones here. Oh, and I also saw some of these lights in the sky as well. Anyway, let's go back to the Friday night, and here's me explaining what I'm hoping to do from the comfort of my van. Right, I am parked up. It's late on Friday night, and I'm parked up at Loch Malardoch. I've got a big day ahead of me tomorrow, and possibly the day after that, and possibly the day after that. I'm not sure whether I should be doing this or not, and I'll come on to that in more detail as the days go on. I was at the doctor's this morning, and we're not far away from the longest night, shortest day. Anyway, if all goes to plan, I'll be having a bit of an epic tour. I think it's going to be an epic tour anyway. I don't think I'm going to manage the sort of most, ambitious plan A is to do 12, the Malardoch round of 12, but if I'm being honest with myself, right now I don't think that's going to be a possibility. But anyway, I'm going to hit the hay now. It is quite late, and I'm going to try and get up early and get going in the dark to give me as much time, see how far I can get along the mountains, which are snow covered as well. Another reason why I think it's just a fantasy that I'm going to do the 12 Munros, and I think it's nearly 60 kilometres or 55 kilometres or something like that. Anyway, right, time for bed. I'll report back in the morning. I was keen to get going as early as possible, and I set off in the dark, but I knew that the start of the walk was along a nice 4x4 track, so with my head torch on, I got my head down and started getting some miles in. Right, hopefully you can see me okay. What a beautiful morning. It's just about time to put this head torch off, but that's the first Munro. I don't know if you can see it behind me. It's called Carnagower, and it's covered in snow. And I'm a bit mixed about that. I knew that the tops were covered in snow, that's why I've left the micro spikes and I've brought my crampons. A bit heavier, but I've said this many times, micro spikes are useless in anything but icy, hard and heavy. They don't have anti-balling plates and can be more of a danger in snow. So anyway, yeah, I'm a bit mixed about the snow, because in one way it's going to make it look beautiful, really beautiful, but the other way it's going to slow my progress. You just can't walk as quick. So whether I get around, I don't know how far I'm going to go. I said last night I'm just going to take it as it comes. But yeah, there's a bridge here. Going to head up here and onto the ridge, gain some height. Beautiful morning though, absolutely glorious. Right, let's crack on. I'll report back later on. You see the deer? Can you see the deer? You can see me. After a trudge up some pathless terrain, I soon hit the ridgeline of Carnagower, which was the first Munro, and it was looking absolutely fantastic. I'd taken the track along the side of Loch Malardoch, and then further up into the glen the track goes and across that wee bridge, but after the bridge there was a snow path, and even when I was on the ridge I couldn't find the path because of the snow, but it was lovely. Oh, right. The camera is actually on the summit of the first Munro, yes, and this is called Carnagower, and yeah, it's been a bit of a slog to come up. I'm a wee bit ahead of schedule actually, which has pleased me, as you'd expect, because yeah, I've not been feeling well this week. I haven't been off work, but I alluded to it on the bit to camera last night that yeah, I had to go to the doctor yesterday morning and get a course of antibiotics, so at the moment I'm feeling alright, which is great. And this is the first summit. Sometimes these can be the hardest ones to get to, because once I'm up here, it's undulating, but most of the ascent is getting here. Anyway, it's a wee bit chilly, so I'm going to get my jacket on and then start heading along the ridge and see how far I get. Wow, what a place. And the sun is coming out. It's absolutely gorgeous. Fantastic. Right. Oh, chilly, chilly. Fighting with my jacket to get on. Beautiful. Down this way I can see down to the head of Glen Strafara and the start of Loch Munnar. I think it's the deepest loch, or one of the deepest lochs in Scotland. Anyway, I'm heading into the wilderness after this. And it was getting more and more remote. The further west I was going along this ridge line, it gets to a point called Ansilchach, which is one of the most remote Munros in Scotland. Anyway, the next point was Sgurna Lapich, which is one of the highest mountains north of the Great Glen, and certainly there's no higher peak to the north of this in Scotland. Whew, well, that's me down. That's the summit behind me that I was on, Carnagower. I'm at the Bealach. Oh, I'm roasting now. It was quite cold on the top there in the breeze, but there's no breeze here. But the cloud is just cleared from the second Munro of the day, which is Sgurna Lapich, and it's looking fine. Quite alpine, I might have to get the spikes on. Looks quite steep going up there, so but what a place, look at this. Lovely loch down there, the reflections, the sun's now burning the cloud away. It's a sparkling day and I'm hoping that, yeah, it's going to continue like this, but yeah, I'm going to stop here, get this jacket off and have a bite to eat. So I'm quite hungry. Oh, this is brutal. What a place, look at these views. It must be about 100 metres shy of the summit. There's a wee bit of thin cloud coming and going. We might get a Brock Inspector up here. But it's tough going because the breaking trail, and I can see here where the path is kind of just, you can make it out every now and again, but it disappears under the snow, which makes things even harder, so tough going. But let's get to the top here and yeah, I'll report back hopefully on the summit. What a place. So I went on and eventually got onto the ridge, and the views to the north, as you can see, were just spectacular, and to the south I was now above the cloud, which was just as spectacular. Anyway, onwards I went and I was soon approaching the summit of the highest point to the north of Loch Mulardoch. Wow! Wow! What a view! What a view! That's been the top of probably the highest one today. It's about 1150 metres. But what a viewpoint! There's a cloud, there's a temperature inversion, the cloud behind me, look at that! Isn't that wonderful? And then I've had my first view north. I don't know if you'll be able to make it out, but the hills, all the hills to the north of here, the Northwest Highlands, Torridon and Chellac, down to Applecross, you can see Skye. Down here is Lurgvor, Cheesecake, I can't pronounce it, sorry. And then further north, it's just stunning. What a day! I'm going to sit here for a bit longer, just take these views in, because it's not often you have this sort of weather. There's not a drop of wind up here either. Absolutely brilliant. Happy Murray. Right, something to eat. So I eventually pulled my way off the summit of this high peak, and I was now heading for Munro number 3, which was quite a big drop down to the Bealach before a steep pull up. And I wasn't feeling too bad, to be honest with you, considering I'd been quite ill the week before. I wasn't feeling too bad, but despite being ahead of schedule in the first peak, I was now dropping quickly behind schedule. Possibly looking at those views, but yeah, maybe just the snow on the ground and the steepness of it. I wasn't as far along the ridge as I was hoping to be by this point in the day. But what a place to be, and what a day to be on it. It was absolutely fabulous. Oh, right, feeling a bit puggled now. And probably falling behind schedule. I think the centre Schooner really slowed me down, but anyway, let's see. It's absolutely beautiful. The nice wee ridge now. I'll spin you around. Hopefully you can see it. You can see the ridge now winding up and round, then there, then up, and then I think when I'm up there, it's kind of a bit more level walking round. But look at this, isn't this just wonderful? The views are just stunning today, and just above the cloud as well, which is making it special. So yeah, I'm in a quandary. I'm not sure what to do. I think I quite fancy camping high, which would mean I'd have to cut back my intended route, but let's discuss that later on. Let's just crack on. I need to get some food inside me, and I'm going to get up onto this ridge up here and stop and have a second lunch. Isn't this just spectacular? It's absolutely fabulous. My legs might be complaining, but my eyes certainly aren't. There, taking it all in. Just lovely views. What a day for it. Some easy scrambling here, but just have to, be careful. Mind my step. It's easier walking now. I'm on the summit ridge of the third Munro. I can see it. I'll spin you around just a second. Still a fair whack to go to get to the last Munro, which is Ansilkach though. Oh dear, right. Yeah, you can probably just see it looks like quite a big cairn at the top of this third one, so I'm going to stop there and I'll report to you when I get to the summit. The summit. Right, get a wee bit of shelter here and something to eat. So I am hungry. Need some calories inside me. Got a jacket on as well, I think. Right, it's about 2:30 now, which means it is an hour till the sun goes down. Yes, it's that time of year. It's about 3:30 that the sun will go down, so that gives me about a couple of hours of daylight. I think I might actually start looking for somewhere to pitch the tent. The forecast is pretty good for tonight, light winds high up. It definitely means I won't be doing the 12, but I think I've already given into that fact that I won't be doing the 12 Munros. There's no way, not a hope in hell in these under the snow, that's for sure. Anyway, I think that's the plan. I'm going to batter on a bit further, and any sort of good pitches that I see, I'll be sticking the tent down. So let's get this bag back on, and off we go. Right, let's get cracked on, see how far we can get along before we get a pitch. I didn't have to go too far. The ground up here was relatively level. It's quite a broad shoulder, and I found a spot here. And what I'm doing here is just making sure there's no thin ice covering a big deep bog, sort of stepping across it and making sure it's relatively level. And this was the second spot that I'd looked at. The first one didn't give me uninterrupted views north, so I'd moved on a bit to a point where the ridge would allow me to see north, and the reason for that will become very apparent as you'll see in a little while. Anyway, it was soon time to to get the tent up in the snow, it sounds like it was windy. There was a slight breeze, but it wasn't too bad. It was just lovely. So I was keen that I'd made the decision just to get the tent up now. I don't think going any further would have been wise, or I would have been struggling to get my stuff set up in daylight. Right. Whilst I'm waiting for my snow to melt. That's one of the things about camping. I knew I'd have to melt the snow for some water, because all the water sources up here are frozen. But I thought I'd give you a quick tour of the tent and the views. Like, spin you around. That's the front door views looking north, just in case there's any northern lights. But I don't know if you can see over there. There's a big, massive moon rising. Anyway, in here, very messy. That's my sleeping bag. I've got my winter stuff. Camera gear at the bottom there. And out here, I've got a view. Look at that. Might get a nice sunset in a wee while. The sun's just gone behind that bank of cloud, but it's lovely. My feet are getting cold though, as happens on winter camps. I always get cold feet, so yeah, I'm gonna get some water sorted out first. Maybe have a coffee. It's about 3:30 now, so yeah, I'll bring you back and sort of give you a synopsis of what I'm going to do tomorrow, what I think I'm doing tomorrow, and how things have gone today, and a few things I need to speak about, including Munro bagging. Ooh, Munro bagging. Not that often speak about that, but yeah, a wonderfully remote area this is. This next Munro, the fourth one on the ridge, is one of the most remote to get to, so what a place to be. And I don't know what height I'm at. I'll come back and I'll check my my map, and I'll come back to you later on and tell you what height I'm at. For now, I need to get on with melting the snow and getting some water. Right, well I've had that coffee. There was high drama at camp earlier on, so after spending ages melting the snow, what I was doing was there was loads of little bits of grass, so I wasn't bringing it to the boil. I was just melting it, then putting it into my filter bottle, and then filtering it into my platypus, so I had some water for tomorrow. And I did 3, and then I knocked my platypus over on the last one and emptied all the water out by mistake, so that was soul destroying, if I'm being honest with you. Anyway, I've had my coffee, and I'm a bit high probably because I've had a big sheer packet of milk buttons and chili peanuts and about 4 sausage rolls. So I don't know if I'll be having a boil in the bag. Anyway, I decided just to camp here. I'm not far from the summit of the 3rd Munro, and I just decided that I should have known, but I didn't expect there to be as much snow as there is. There's not that much here, to be fair, but coming up, especially in the 2nd Munro, going through the boulder fields, I was breaking trail, and in the drifts it was up to my knees in places, so it does slow you down. And I thought I could still have been walking now, to be honest with you. If I was wanting to do the 12, I would have walked into the night, but I just don't think I would have enjoyed it, and I don't know if I would have been able to do it anyway. But so I think I've decided just to do the 4. I might cut across to the the south side of Malardoch, but even then it's a steep pull up, and yeah, I think tomorrow night it's not to be as nice. There's winds coming in, so my plan is just to take it easy and actually enjoy this camp. So no rushing and getting up in the middle of the night. I think I might just wait for sunrise tomorrow and finish the 4th Munro, and I'll tell you later on why these 4 are more important to me than the ones over yonder. But for now I'm going to go and sit and get to my snuggle up into my sleeping bag and get warm. I'll maybe come out later on, start back later. So I went back and snuggled into my sleeping bag for a wee while and had something else to eat, and then something very, very special happened. It's just past 6 o'clock, and virtually there's my tent door. the Guy Line and I'm sitting watching the Northern Lights, which is brilliant, absolutely fantastic. Fantastic. It's pretty much a full moon, but I can still see them. Fabulous. I might actually get out of my bed and go and watch them. Put a time lapse on. That's what I'll do. I'll stick a time lapse on. Right, let's do that. So I pulled myself out of my warm sleeping bag and got some time lapse of the amazing Aurora Borealis. Wow, hopefully you can make this out. The Aurora is dancing very clear to the naked eye. You know, it's a full moon as well. I just wasn't expecting this at all, but it's been super bright and it's bursting out now. Look at that. Wow. I did a time lapse just from the tent earlier on, and it was just yeah, it's just spectacular. I've even got some pictures just on the phone as well. It's pretty good. In fact, I'm going to grab my phone now and take some more pictures, I think. Spectacular. Right, let's just take a wee dichty-doo. Wow. It's not often the Aurora's strong enough to get it with the phone, so it's absolutely brilliant. I didn't think today could get any better, but it has now, that's for sure. Try and get the picture of the tent. Don't even have a wide enough lens to get it all in with. It's dancing right up high. Wow. Stunning. Absolutely brilliant. What a night. What a night. Woo. Oh, it's kicking off again. Look at this. The shafts of light. This is just as good as that time when I was up at Glenfinnan, if not better, because of the snow. I think it's just wow. I think I was interviewed by Andrew. Go and check out his YouTube channel, Scotland's Sky at Night, I think it's called. And he does all this astro stuff, but he did a podcast and he was telling me, oh, look at the red over here. Sorry, but he's saying we're coming into a period of solar activity, so I'm gonna have to take a picture of that. Hopefully it's catching. Let me move the camera around if it's not. It's pink up there. Wow, let me see if it's catching. Oh yes, it is just. If I just move you around, look at that. Look at that. Absolutely amazing. Check it out. Don't know if you'll be able to see me. Look at that, I can see this quite clearly with the naked eye. What a display. Absolutely fabulous. Anyway, what Andrew was saying was in the next few years, up until 2026, 2027 should I say, activity from the sun is increasing. So there's more chance of seeing the Northern Lights. And there's more chance of seeing them now anyway, because look at this over here now. It's just taken off. There's more chance of catching them now because of the apps and all these sorts of things. I mean, it popped up on my app that I was going to see them tonight, but oh, I think I'm going to spin you back around this way. Beautiful. Right, let me move you around back. Ah, pinks. Look at that. Yes, absolutely stunning. Yeah. It really is. It really is something else. As I said, for many years when I saw the Aurora, I just saw it from the back of the camera. I never saw it with the naked eye. And this is quite a few times now, and it is super impressive, I must admit. Absolutely beautiful. Look at the colours. Another bit of red up here, I can see it. I know it looks green in the camera, but it looks more sort of silvery to the naked eye, apart from when it goes pink and you can see the pinks up above. Look at this. My God, that is something else, right? See if I can take some more pictures with the phone. It's just stunning. Right, back into the tent, chill out for a bit, I think. So after watching what was probably one of the best displays of the Aurora that I've ever seen, it was soon time to get the light out and get my head down, because it was still quite a big day tomorrow. Although I wasn't going to be doing the 12 Monroes, it was still quite a distance to travel, so it was time for some sleep. Good morning. It is about 7:15, maybe 7:30 now. I woke up about an hour ago. As I said, there's no rush. That's one of the beauties of me now deciding just to do one more Monro today, but I'm not going to get complacent, because the one that I've got left, there is, according to the description, some easy scrambling, and doesn't matter how easy the scrambling is when it's coated in a layer of snow and ice, it can be quite serious. So I need to keep my wits about me. It's not over by any means. Plus, beyond that, once I descend down onto the Lochshore path, there's a river crossing or a burn crossing, which apparently, if there's been a bit of rain or snow melt, it can be impassable. So I don't really fancy coming all the way back up and reversing the route. So I need to just, keep my wits about me. But I'm going to enjoy this morning. It's not quite, well, I don't know if I've looked outside yet, but yeah, shall we have a look outside? I was just going to say it's not quite light yet, but it might well be. Let's have a gander. Spin you right. Let's have a look. See what. Oh, right. Let's stick outside. What's happening out here? Oh, a wee bit of light over yonder. Yeah, well, it's struggling to focus, but looks okay. Yeah. Looks alright. So yeah, I'm going to get the coffee on. I'll probably have a coffee from the warmth of my sleeping bag. Oh, I'm not focusing, let me just, there we go. Yeah, I'll probably have a coffee. I'll just stick the stove in the porch. I don't usually do that, to be honest with you. I don't like doing that. But I'm going to make sure everything's out of the way so I don't set the tent on fire. It's always a good thing when you're camping. Right, shut up Murray, let's get the coffee on. It's lovely, absolutely gorgeous morning. There's barely a drop of wind, which is just lovely. And the views, you can see the band of Venus over my shoulder, hopefully. And this is where I'm going next. And Sochach, which is probably one of the most remote Munros, along with the likes of, I don't know, the Fisherfield Mountains. I think it's Ruistack Moor. Yeah, places like that, Ben Alder, places which are pretty hard to get to. So it's kind of quite prized summit to get to. And I don't know if I mentioned this last night, but this, and Sochach, is my penultimate Munro. And I've had, I don't know, for maybe in the last 10 to 15 years perhaps, I've had maybe 10 Munros or under to do, and then the last 4 or 5 I've just had 2 days, and this was one of the days to get it. But I'm in no rush, as you know. I'm not really that bothered. I used to be obsessive about bagging. I wouldn't go out on a trip unless it was hills that I hadn't been up before and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, the Malardic 4 have evaded me, and hopefully I can get across to Ansocha. As I say, I'm going to put my spikes on, I think, because it could be quite it could be quite icy over there. But right, slowly packing up tent. I'll bring you back. Sunrise still hasn't happened. It's going to happen in about 10 or 15 minutes, but there's a bank of cloud over to the southeast, which is preventing any bright colours. There's some nice colours over there. Anyway, right, shut up, Murray. Let's get the stuff packed away. I'll bring you back in a wee while. Oh, right, it's absolutely, it is glorious. There's a slight breeze picked up now, but it's not too bad. I'm not going to complain. I'm nearly at 1100 metres here. I think it's just under, which is lovely. And what a night last night. I thought I'd just touch on that with the northern lights showing themselves. And yeah, I always count myself lucky when I see these things, but I posted some. I've got a signal here because I'm up high. And I was posting some pictures from my iPhone from the tent, and folk were saying, "Oh, you're lucky, how lucky are you jammy git." And then somebody actually mentioned, well, you are lucky, but you've got to put yourself in these positions to be lucky, if that makes sense. I thought, you know, you're actually right. The amount of times I've been out camping, and to be honest with you, had I done the original round that I was hoping to do, the Lardic 12 or even the Lardic, whatever it was, 7 or 8, I don't think I'd have been able to camp up high because I was trying to get down to the river for the water, and I would have missed it all and I would have been gutted. So yeah, today I'm not going to do the hills on the other side. The weather is closing in later on, and tomorrow it's to be heavy snow and on the tops 40 or 50 mile an hour winds. So I wasn't going to, it would have been folly for me to camp out tonight. So yeah, I'm going to spend a bit more time here. I'm slowly, really slowly taking the tent down because it's just such a lovely morning, and I've only got one Munro to do, and Sochach. As I said, I need to be careful going around that, but yeah, just enjoying it. It's not often you get days like, or nights like last night, and mornings like this morning. Fabulous. Right, I'll report back later on. Let's get this stuff away. Right, that's crampons are on, the tent's away, leave no trace as always. The sun is out, the wind's picking up though. That's the start of this weather. I can see the cloud to the southeast. In fact, there's clouds rolling over. I don't know if you'll make it out, just to the hills to the south. So I'm not sure whether it'll get to the Ansochach by the time I get there or not, but wonderful morning. Let's get going. It's probably about 10 o'clock now, so a nice leisurely start. As I said,
Had I been doing the mega round of 1 or 2, I would have been up probably about 5 or 6 hours ago. Probably not enjoyed it as much, but yeah, let's go. I'll report back when I get to Ansochach. Right, let's boogie. That's me just coming off the back of the wee peak, which wasn't too far. I've not come too far from where the camp was, but I'm glad I put the crampons on. I spin you around, you can see why. It's a sharp drop down here. Look at that. Not a place to slip in the winter for sure. You can see that nice ridge. Narrows really quite nicely down there. Then onwards to this peak there, it drops apparently steeply down to the Bealach, then up to Ansochach. So yeah, glad that I brought the crampons in ice action. So let's just take my time. I probably won't report back going down here because I just need to concentrate on, yeah, not falling over. So that would be good. That cloud's getting a wee bit closer now as well. I don't know if you can see that coming in just there. So the views might, yeah, the views might have disappeared by the time I get to the top of Ansochach, unfortunately. But hey ho, that's the way it goes sometimes. Let's barry on. Yeah, it's quite steep. Just take my time because I'm a long way from help here. Not that I don't want to fall even if I was close to help, but you know what I mean. Wow, right, let's go. Ooh wee. Just showing you the view to the north in this wee clip. Look at that. The sun is hitting all the northwest of the Highland Mountains, but literally in the next couple of minutes we're going to be engulfed in cloud. It's literally just behind the camera, so yep. Last view of the hills. Let's go, pick my way down here. Ooh, okay, look at that behind me. If you can see it, incoming. Right, let's get this camera away. Right, that's me made it down to the Bealach. I've just been picking my way down. There's the the bit I've come down. It was, I knew from the descriptions and doing my research that yeah, it was going to be steep. That's why I put the spikes on. And I've just been super arbor cautious coming down, so I didn't want to you know, put a foot wrong. I mean, it's yeah, some easy scrambling, but when it's covered in verglass and the path disappear under the snow, you just have to make sure you're going the right way. So anyway, if I spin you round, you can see where I'm going to be going up the ridge there now to the top of Ansochach, into the clouds. You never know, it might get above the clouds. That cloud might have lowered, but I don't think it has. So yeah, let's go. Let's head up Ansochach and I'll report back at the top. Right, off we go. I don't know if you can see these animal tracks. These have literally, I don't know, it's obviously maybe not the same animal. I don't know what kind of tracks they are. They look like dog prints or paw prints, but no idea if it's a fox. Anyway, it seems to be doing the Millardoch round as well, because it went right past my tent and I've been following them. Anyway, I'm at about 860 metres and the top of this is 1050, so another 200 metres of ascent to go to get to the top of Ansochach. Let's go. Now finally, that's the summit ridge of Ansochach. Another 5 minutes and I should be on the summit. Ooh. Oh, at last. Tell you what, it's an icy wind that's blowing now, and here we are at the top of Ansochach. Oh, my penultimate Monroe, and it's a remote one. It's hard to get here any direction you come from. You can come up, I think it's Glen Elchig, past the Falls of Glomar, coming up that way, and I've done some of the Corbetts from that direction, cycled up in horrendous weather if memory serves me right. Tell you what, I'm glad to be here. I ain't going to hang around though, I'm going to start heading down. This is essentially the halfway point, and it's about midday, so I've got about 4 hours of daylight left. I think I could be, yeah, the head torch might be on for getting back to the van, but let's see. Anyway, let's get cracked off this.
It was a real shame that the cloud had come in, but I also thought that my decision just to do the 4 and not the 8 or the 12 was now really well vindicated, because I would have been trudging through the inside of a Scottish cloud and probably not enjoying it as much as I could have done. So anyway, it was a long, slippery descent to get back down under the cloud.
Oh, right. The cloud is finally lifted. I was walking through a whiteout all the way around. You can see the white peaks behind me, that's where I've come from. And up round there, and if I spin you around, you can see the other hills on the other side of Loch Malardoch there. In fact, that one that you can see there, that there would have been the route up this morning if I was going to do the 8. Kind of glad that I didn't, because my crampons are still on at the moment, and there was a lot of water ice in the grass. I've just kept them on. I'm going to take them off now, along with some of these jackets, because I am roasting. First stream I get to, I'm going to be stopping and getting a coffee as well, so looking forward to that. Right, let's get this jacket off and I'll report back later on.
So I didn't do too much filming, but I eventually made it to the stream and decided to have a coffee here. I was quite dehydrated, and it's still a long way to go, to be honest with you. Yeah, so I was keen to get some food inside me and some caffeine inside me before I started that long trudge back along the side of Loch Malardoch.
Oh man, right, whilst I'm waiting for my coffee or my water to boil, yeah, it's 2:30. By the time I get my coffee, it's going to be 3 by the time I leave here. It's about 3:30 sunset. So yeah, I will be walking back in the dark. So what I've done is, just to be on the safe side, I've got a power bank with me, and I'm charging my head torch. It does usually last for about 6 hours, 6-7 hours, it should be fine, but just to be on the safe side, I'm charging that. It'll be in my bag, charging until the point where I need to put it on. That should give me enough power to get back. Plus I've got an extra, a spare head torch in the bag, but it's not as good as that one, if that makes sense. So yeah, what a place though. I think this must be where you get dropped off by the boat when you're doing these hills, which is the way we were originally going to do it. Might still do it, to be honest with you. Don't see why not. Beautiful hills. But for now I'm just concentrating on getting some fluid inside me, then cracked on along this path.
So at this point I was feeling a lot better, having had a wee bit of caffeine, and I actually had 2 Scotch eggs, a bar of Snickers and a pork pie at this point. So yeah, it's amazing how that can pick you up. And although I knew it was a good few hours along the side of this slightly sketchy path, but not as bad as I thought it was going to be, as you'll soon hear. Anyway, I got my head down and started heading back towards the van along the side of the loch.
I'm not going to lie, I'm feeling it. I think I was planning on being out for 3 days, 2 nights, so I've got enough food for actually 4 days. I always bring in more food just in case anything's down. But anyway, the river's down here, so you can see, I can just about see the end of the dam now. There's another 5 kilometres to go, but I'm going to have to get my head torch on soon. But there is, I don't know if you can see that just to the right of my head, the moon is full, so that might help. But I'm hoping to get down and across this river, so let's report back when I'm down there. Okay, that's me reached the river. I think I'm going to get across. Let me spin you around and I'll show you what I've got to do. I'll put this light on over there. I don't know if you can see, but it doesn't look too bad. I'm going to try and get across here. I'm not sure what it's like on the other side, whether there's another channel, which might be a bit tricky, but yeah, let's go. I'll put you onto hip belt and report back in a wee while.
So I put my camera in my hip belt, so this is a slightly sketchy footage. And it wasn't too bad, to be honest with you. I'm certainly glad that I had my gaiters, because at this point I was pretty tired. I wasn't too bothered about making sure I was standing on the rocks that were out of the water, so I kind of just went across. But what I did notice was the temperature was below freezing, and it was extremely icy. Any of those rocks that were protruding above the water had a thin layer of verglass, and you can see here some of the ice that had formed just on the drier parts of the riverbed. So across I went, and then the second part of the stream, which you'll see in just a minute, that's not glass breaking, that's me.
Icy as hell.
Yeah, that's me putting my pole through another bit of ice. But yeah, it wasn't too bad, but yeah, you can imagine in spate conditions this would be impassable.
Right, well, I'm happy I'm across that. It was quite, there was a lot of ice and there was a lot of verglass over the rocks, so it was, yeah, I just had to be careful, but the river wasn't too high. But I can imagine that in spate would be impassable. So, right, up onto the track, another hour or two and I'll be back. I'll report back at the van. Right, let's go.
I didn't do too much filming, but after another hour or two, I was soon back at the van, and I tell you, I was relieved to see it.
Oh, home sweet home. Oh, right, that's me back in the van. Hopefully you can hear me. I've got all the fans on to defrost it. It's going to be an interesting drive. I'm going to drive home now. It's about 7 o'clock, so I'll be home between 10 and 11. But yeah, I'll just have to watch it because it's ice everywhere. I've got my winter tyres on, thankfully I got them changed last week. But yeah, what a trip. I think I ended up doing plan C. Plan A was the Malardic 12, never going to happen. I might be fooling myself saying that the trail breaking through the snow was the reason I didn't do it, but in all honesty I think I would have been, even plan B, which would have been the Malardic 8 or whatever it is, I would have been trekking long into the night and up super early. So I'm really glad, especially with the Northern Lights, that I decided to do plan C, because it allowed me just to relax and take my time. The path back wasn't too bad. The bit towards the end is very boggy, but I had my gaiters on and my waterproof boots, which kept my feet dry. And yeah, that was about it. It's been an epic trip. Even though it was plan C, I mean, that was plan C was the easiest, but the easiest option of the three. But that's relatively speaking. It's still a long round with that size of backpack. As I always say, the camera gear weighs more than all the camping gear put together. So I think I did all right, and I had all my winter stuff as well: crampons, ice axe, thick ground mat, big heavy sleeping bag, so on and so forth. Anyway, but to end the video here, if you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you on the next adventure. Right, time to drive home.